Good evening and welcome. My name is Professor Nick Irons. I'm with the Criminal Justice Department here at the County College of Morris. On behalf of our entire County College of Morris family, the Student Activities Office, the Center for Teaching Excellence, and our Symposium Committee, we're certainly glad to have you here this evening. And it's my pleasure to introduce Professor Barbara Dennis, who will be introducing this evening's program. Professor Dennis is a former FBI agent, and she's a practicing member of the New Jersey Bar Association, and has been with the County College of Morris now for 5 years in our Criminal Justice Department. Interestingly enough, Professor Dennis also has a fascinating hobby. She has made an ongoing lifetime study of the stars of stage and screen. So we're indeed happy to have her introduce this evening's program to you. Professor Dennis?
Thank you, Professor Irons. If I were to ask you, who was spectacular as Chicken George in Roots, who was spectacular in Pippin, and who has overcome a lot of adversities and become like a really great model, the answers are all the same: Ben Vereen. We are indeed fortunate to have him here tonight as our symposium speaker. He is one of the world's most versatile performers, and he's endeared himself to millions through his remarkable work on the Broadway stage, the concert circuit, and the large and small screens. In addition to his work in Roots, he has won critical acclaim for his own ABC special, Ben Vereen, His Roots, which won 7 Emmy Awards. And you've seen him on TV in things from Webster to Brown Shoe, 10 Speed and Brown Shoe, and Bordertown. He's also appeared in the Jesse Owens Story. In addition to his accomplishments as an outstanding performer, Mr. Vereen has also been widely honored for his humanitarian activities. In 1990, he was awarded the prestigious Victory Award, and in 1983, he received the Eleanor Roosevelt Humanitarian Award. In 1978, Israel's Humanitarian Award, and has received in 2 consecutive years, 78 and 79, the NAACP Prestige Award, Image Award. Currently, he also continues to spearhead the work of Celebrities for a Drug-Free America, which provides support to drug education programs around the country, and he speaks regularly to the nation's youth in schools, conventions, churches, and community gatherings. I want you all to join me in welcoming, the very warm welcome, Mr. Ben Vereen.
I have to turn this on. Is it working? Oh, good, it's working. First of all, I'd like to give honor to God, and I'd like to give honor to you. Thank you for coming out tonight and letting me share with you. Is this working at all?
Yes. Yes. Yes, God, we're listening. I will build the ark.
Oh, life is such fun. Hi, darling, how are you? Wait a minute. Oh, it's you, is it? Oh, so I'm here to speak to you about art and arts in education. I'd like to tell you a story before I begin. Hello? I'd like to tell you a story before I begin. I'd like to tell you a story about Israel, when Israel was in Egypt. You see, when Israel was in Egypt, they were in bondage. And the mighty Pharaoh came down to the Israelites. Goes to the rabbis, and he says, if there's one among you who could beat me, the mighty Pharaoh, in nonverbal communication, I'll let you and all of your people go free. What a wonderful thing. The rabbi said, oh, thank you, mighty Pharaoh. Thank you, Pharaoh. Leaves. And they turn and look at one another and they say, What's nonverbal communication? So they look outside of their tent, and they see Ezekiel. He's drawing some graffiti on the Egyptian walls. So they said, yo, Zeke, come in here. So Zeke goes in and says, yeah, go into Pharaoh and do his bidding. So Zeke goes bopping up to the palace, opens the gates, goes inside, sees Pharaoh. Pharaoh, seeing Ezekiel, gets up off his throne, takes his crown off, sets it down. He looks at Ezekiel. And he goes, Ezekiel says, Pharaoh says, Ezekiel says, Pharaoh picks up an apple. Ezekiel goes, finds an egg. Pharaoh's crushed. He said, you and all of your people are free. So Zeke goes back down to the camp. The rabbis see him and say, well, what happened? He says, we're free. He says, what? He says, we're free. So there was a big party that night, and the Israelites just danced and carried on. They had a feast. They had roasted pig out there. Oh, they carried on. Well, the rabbis go to Zeke, and they said, Zeke, tell us, what is it that Pharaoh said to you that gave us our freedom? Ezekiel said, oh man, I go to the palace, and this guy says, no, I'm going to cut your throat. I told him, I'll kick your butt. He said, I'll poke your eyes out. I said, hey man, you better watch yourself. He picked up an apple, I picked up an egg, it was all over. So the Israelites are leaving Egypt the next day. The Pharaoh and the rabbis go to Pharaoh, and they say, oh Pharaoh, thank you humbly for our freedom. But what is it Ezekiel said to you that gave us our freedom, that changed your mind? Of course, Pharaoh was very depressed losing all his free labor. He sat there and he said, Ezekiel was a very wise man. When Ezekiel came unto me, I said, the world is flat. Ezekiel said, no, the world is round. I said unto Ezekiel, there are two gods. Ezekiel said, no, there's but one God. I picked up an apple and said, man comes from the seed of an apple. Ezekiel picked up an egg. I said, no, man comes from the sperm of an egg. Ezekiel is a wise man. I think about that story when I think about art in education. Because it seems that we as a people have moved away from the importance, I'm telling them, God, the importance of art. But let's not call it art. Let's call it creative knowledge. Creative knowledge. You see, because it's been with civilization or mankind, humankind, from the beginning of our existence. At least that's what they tell us. I mean, if you go and find some artifact, see, there's that word again, artifact, from the Stone Age. There you see Ezekiel's writings on the wall. Cavemen, they left us things to read by the writings on the wall, and we say, artwork. It's artwork. So we know that they were there. We understand what they were trying to say through what? Their art. Their art. My God, when I think about it, you look at the Egyptians. Ooh, man, who'd ever thunk it? Sitting down in the desert and somebody said, what do you see? One guy says, I see sand. Another guy said, no, man, I see pyramids. Vision. Vision. And art gives us vision. We got to remember, even in our Bibles, it says, in the beginning, God created. Created. Not God manufactured, but God created. So we are, you and I, are creative beings. And being creative beings, we are privy to creativity, to art, because of the fact that in art, dreams are allowed to flourish. Dreams are allowed to come to fruition because of the fact that we dream. Because of the fact that we have those visions in our mind. My God, just think about this guy. His name was Alexander Bell. Got tired of trying to talk to this young lady across the street. Yo, Mary! Yo, Mary, you home? Oh, Mom, there's got to be a better way than this. So he takes a can with a string to it, and he takes it across the street. Mary, hold this. He runs back into his house and goes, hey, Mary. She goes, oh, Alexander. Henceforth, what do we have? What do we have? What do we have? That was an easy one. No, we don't have telephones. We have AT&T. We have companies that have been developed because of what? Vision, which came from what? Art. Art. You look up art in the dictionary, it talks about skills. Yeah, skillfully sitting there working with finding a way to communicate with people, to communicate. So we started on the walls, man, writing things, and we say, yeah, but writing. Look at writing, for example. That's a creative skill. Somebody sat down and said, babe, I want to tell you something, but I can't tell you verbally. I feel it in my heart. And you go. And he says, wait. He said, wait a minute. He takes a stone and he scrubs something on the stone. It's a heart. And he goes, and she goes, communication through art. So art and education is very important. I know myself, if it had not been for art, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be standing on the stage. You see, art and education allowed a young black man, thank you, from Brooklyn to excel. Because, you see, for me, education just wasn't getting it. Because, not saying that the teachers were bad, no. It's just that as a young black man in America, in the educational system, there was nothing really for me to identify with. I talk about this in my lectures on black history, but there was nothing to relate to. For example, in schools today, we have a tendency to teach history, which is what we call his story. That was an easy one. That was another easy one. His story. But it never taught my story, which is mystery. Now, as a young person in America, you would think you'd want people to know about the wonderful melting pot, because that's what they kept telling me. We're a great melting pot of the world. And we are. And we are. We all got to realize our contribution, what we brought to this country. And we brought what? Our culture, which was what? Our art, which is our art with us, which is our expression with us. And to melt it into this pot of wonderful red, white, and blue. And this, But I was never taught that. They always run on this, I call it the great lie. And they constantly tell you this because we just finished celebrating the 500th birthday of a man who was lost. Do you realize that? No, you don't go, oh, no, it's not true. Oh, yeah, it's true. Some of y'all are wearing those T-shirts. Christopher Columbus discovered America. And you keep telling the babies that. And that's not true. That's not true. This man was lost. He was out there going, oh my God! Yo, Chris, where are we? And see, it's important, it's important that we tell history, because then we learn about the wonderful people who were here in the first place, who were the Indians, who were another very artful people, who were involved in creativity, who were involved in the expression of allowing to be an open channel for the universe to express itself through. We have suppressed them so much, now they're ready to kick our butts because they're into economics. You read the paper lately? Yeah, you probably go down to those casinos giving them your money. But it's true. Here was these two guys sitting on the beach. They look out in the water and they see this boat going like this. They go, running bear. I think he's lost. Yeah. Hey, yo, you out there on those ships? Yeah, you out there, the guy with the funny hat. Yeah, you. Steer that ship over this way. You're gonna hit that rock. You're gonna. Oh my God. Okay, yeah, bring it in here. Bring it in here. That's right. Easy. Want some popcorn? I love American history. I really do. I know for me, I keep going back to as a young black man, had I heard about the wonderful creative things that we've done. See, we keep calling them inventions. But inventions really are creations. And creations are art. And on top of that, we crown it with the thing called education. We have knowledge, and so we crown it. We crown that, you know? All those wonderful things that have been contributed by all people in this great country. We share in that. That's why I think it's important that we really keep, as they say, art in education. See, because as I said, I would have been lost. I would have been out there just, I don't know what I'd have been doing. But creativity came along in my life. You know, for this young boy who's not getting any sort of relating to anything that the system, as we call it, the educational system, was telling me. You know, I really wasn't a scholastic student. And that's not to encourage kids who are not scholastic not to be scholastic. Get scholastic. Get it all, you know, because it's very important, especially these days. My God, you're pushing buttons and things go around the world, you know. But in those days, it was not interesting. You know, I think it's very interesting today. It wasn't interesting, you know. And so art gave me an alternative in my life. Mom said, well, you're not going to get the math, then you're going to get that dance lesson. Yeah. And you know, and black churches are really good for preserving art, preserving music, preserving expression. You know, we call it testimonials. And I was raised in a Pentecostal church. Another easy one. A Pentecostal church is a church where you get down on the floor and roll. That's when you get on your knees and pray till you get up and scabs on your knees. You don't know about that, right? Yeah, I went to one of those. She said, what? Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Yeah, you call it rock and roll. We call it roll and rock. But I was raised in one of those type of churches, and the wonderful thing about it is that, you know, when I was very young, a lady by the name of Mary Eddy came along and took me into the church and gave me an outlet. She said, learn to sing. You know, she taught me a song. Yes, Jesus loved me. Yes, Jesus loved me. You know? But it was a form of expression. It was a form of letting me know my worth. It was letting me know I got something special here. I can sing. Yeah, Jesus loves me. Yeah, Jesus loves me. Hey, yeah, Jesus loves me. 'Cause the Bible tells me so. Ah. something special. And that's what art does. It lets you know that you got something special. That's what creativity does. You know how good you feel when you've accomplished something. You know when you set your mind, so even if it's if you got to do a term paper and you finish it, and you've thought about all those creative things and ways that the information has come to you, and you put it in your own expression, you know how good you feel when you walk up to the teacher and say, yo, here. Grade that, baby. You know how good you feel? That's creativity, honey. That's art, babies. You see, they're one of the same thing. They really are, you know? It's, you know, and it makes you feel good about yourself. You know, that's why we've got to keep art in education, because that's about those good feelings. And if you're wondering about the bad feelings, just check out what's going on in society today. Because kids, young kids, I'm glad to see a lot of the youth here today. Yeah, young kids, man, yeah. They don't have any alternatives, because what's happening is government is constantly cutting, because they're trying to find ways to make everything work. You know, they're up there pulling their hairs out. You know, oh my God, what are we gonna do? So what do? Cut art. Let's cut art out of the program. So our art programs are gone. So a young kid who's a young Beethoven, who's a young Ben Vereen. Thank you for that. That was real good. Who has some wonderful abilities. You know, he's running with his little dance shoes, and all of a sudden he goes to the school and there's no program for him to express himself. There's no place for that young Picasso, that young Dali, to Rockwell with brushes, and there's a closed sign on that door. It says there's no more program. So where does he go, or where does she go? Where do they go in order to express themselves? So what happens? They become really, creativity is a weird thing, because when you're not allowed to have that outlet, it turns into something else, it seems. And that other thing, it sometimes, in some people, is a negative thing. They got to have what we call, I know for young gangs, I speak to young gangs, and they often say, well, man, we ain't got no place to go. We ain't got no place to let this stuff out. And the gangs are the only ones that give us a rite of passage. A rite of passage. It allows us to, express ourselves as men. Men. Take this gun and go kill somebody. Sell this piece of drug here. Sell that to some kid or something. We see all these negative things happening because we don't have any alternatives for them to express themselves. I'm not saying it is the way with all things, no. But at least it is a part of the puzzle. It's a part of it. That's a very important part of it. Because myself, I ran with gangs. I ran with gangs until I got smart. Got scared, I ran with gangs, but I always had art pulling me this way. Like, come on, you don't need to do that. Come on, get out of there. And it opened up my mind. I'll never forget the High School of Performing Arts. Boy, I was running around because I was I wanted to belong. I felt like I needed to belong. And so, wanting to be a person who pleases, or to be accepted, that's a better term. Wanting to be accepted, you sort of go along with the flow. That's why that's why I tell kids, if you don't stand for something, you're apt to fall for anything. So someone comes along and goes, yo, let's go this way. You go, all right. All right. You're not standing on your own spiritual legs, your spiritual big feet. Love and knowing who you are. Parents, that's what we got to instill in young people today. Is let them know that they're loved, so they can stand on that love and stand on it with conviction. I didn't have that. I didn't have that, So, consequently, I fell into a lot of things that I think about today I probably would have done differently. But, those who's to say what would have happened with my life at that particular time. But the arts was so important to me. I'll tell you a little story about my childhood. I was arrested, and right here. yeah, I was arrested because I came from what the society likes to call the ghetto. I like to call it the upper ghetto. We had a supermarket. Yes, we had a supermarket. It was called Bohack in those days. But one night, I was running around with the guys who looking for, since our programs have been cut, we didn't have any recreational places to go to, and images, and we was in the streets, and I ended up in jail, and my mother was a real discipline. I mean, my mother, oh my God, when I think about it, there's a saying, spare the rod and spoil the child. She didn't spare the rod. She was one of those Southern mothers, It was raised, come here, boy. Yes, mama. Well, when I was arrested, I knew I was about 16 then. But I knew I was going to get a beating. I knew I was going to get killed. And my father, who never came at that time to any of my shows or anything I saw me do, was there at the police station to pick me up. And I said to myself, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. And at that time, I'll never forget, I was standing in front of the judge, and the judge said, what school do you go to? And I said, I go to performing arts. He said, what? I said, yeah, I go to performing arts. He said, it doesn't make any sense. Here you are with an opportunity to life, and what are you doing with it? Get out of my face. So I went home. My mother, who was washing over, you know what a scrub board is? Remember scrub board? You young people going, no, is it like the dishwasher? no, baby, it's a board with a lot of little silver board with little ripples on it, Mom was scrubbing. She was scrubbing up some clothes. And I came in, and I stood there, and I knew that she was going to take that scrub board, and I was going to have an imprint on my face for the rest of my life. But she kept scrubbing. And I looked at her, and she didn't look up, but I saw a tear roll down her face. And that's when I said, that's it. That's it. I broke her heart. I broke her heart. And Art said, yo, we've been waiting for you. You ready now? And I said, yeah, let's go. And I went to performing arts and really applied myself in that school. Now, I had never seen a Broadway play. And I didn't see a Broadway play until after I was out of school. So I was sitting there with a lot of the kids who were talking about Broadway plays. I used to go down and get books and look at pictures. And imagination. I was in West Side Story. Never seen it. But the picture looked good. I was in the New York City Ballet. I was with the American City Ballet because Arthur Mitchell was there. So I could identify. My imagination began to flourish, began to go. And the thing about it, my academics became easier because I was open to them. I was open to them because I had an outlet and I was applying myself to the outlet. So you see, I'm saying all this to say we must give young people what they need to be all that they can be in the army of life, in life. Now, that's not saying that every child is going to grow up to be a Vereen, or grow up to be a Picasso, or grow up to be a, virtuoso. You may grow up to be a lawyer. You may grow up to be an agent. You may grow up to be an engineer. You may grow up to be a great doctor, he or she. And because of their ability to create, they will find the cure, to a lot of the ailments that's facing our society today. Maybe we'll get lucky. And some young person will get into the White House with such creativity that they'll be able to say, I know how to solve this economical problem, and also I know how to solve this problem about war in the world. I'm going to bring peace to the world. Wouldn't that be glorious? It's a dream. But hey, I knew a great dreamer. I knew a great dreamer, and that's why a lot of us are sitting together today. I know a great dreamer who went to a cross one day. I know a great dreamer who climbed a mountain one day. Dreamers, they keep dreaming. There's a wonderful song. It says, talk about dreams. It says, stay strong, I tell myself, when things are going wrong, like times I long to be a winner, and I see my chances growing thinner. I hang on to the memories. Small one, you know my mama would say, baby, your life has just begun. You'll see the rage of stormy weather, but there's a rainbow there. Things will soon get better. Hang on, 'cause there's a dream out there with your name on it. There's a wish somewhere waiting for you. There's a star in the night whose light will grow brighter when the dream with your name on it comes true. There are dreams out there with each one of our names on it. I can't get it for you. Your mama can't get it for you. Your daddy can't get it for you. The doctors and the teachers cannot get it for you. You've got to get it for yourself. And the only way you're going to get it is by being creative, is by leaving yourself open to the wonderful things in the universe. Once you got that education, which is fine, which is great, which is good, which is, things are built upon education. But you gotta leave yourself open so that you can receive the creativity to produce the art, which is you, which is each and every one of you. Every one of you. And what's so unique about you, you know, it's like there's no two people alike, not even twins. You're made out of a special mold. Special mold. And you're endowed with greatness from within. And when you listen to that voice within you, it'll tell you what to do. You'll express yourself differently. And even if you never pick up a paintbrush or a pair of dance shoes, or in life, at least you'll be able to appreciate it. And that's what's so wonderful about life. Because no matter how it looks, I don't care what CNN is saying to you, life, the essence of life itself is good. It's really good. So live it. Thank you. Thank you. So, I guess I talked enough. Now, but I love to talk on and on. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask me, please feel free to ask me those questions. If I can't answer it, I will. If I can't, I'll call Nipsey Russell. So. Yes.
Is there a certain person, whether it be celebrity or a family member or whoever, that really sparked you? Was there somebody who sparked you, or did you just kind of find them for yourself?
That's a good question. I tell you, I keep talking about my mom, because moms are so special. Not the dads aren't. Dad's real special too. But Mom had the vision. Mom saw a door. And you see, it's one thing they say when one door opens, and one door closes, another one opens. Yeah, they do open, but if you don't look inside and see the possibilities, or search it out for a reason why, you'll never get the answer. When Mom saw this door open, she pushed me into it and said, now find the reason why. And I got out there, and the people I have worked with have all influenced me and touched my life. Everyone I've worked with, good and bad. From the good, I learned what to do. From the bad, I learned what not to do. You see? So I've had a lot of influential people in my life. Yeah. I can't name one in particular. You know, a lot of people say, well, you're a song and dance man. It's got to be Sammy Davis Jr. Yes, Sammy Davis was my daddy. You know, he found me, discovered me, Bob Fosse. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on, and I don't want to let anybody out. Yes?
First, I'd like to say that I absolutely adore you as a performer. And I certainly can feel your spirituality, which is wonderful. I'd like to know how you were able to overcome the last few years with your car accident, being physically disabled, what you used as your spirituality, your motivation, your guidance to bring you back to where you're at today.
Good. I'm glad you said spirituality, because a lot of people say religion, you know, and it's not religion. You see, because I often tell people, they say, well, what religion are you? I say, whatever God is, whatever Allah is, whatever Jah is, whatever Buddha is, whatever Jesus is. It was that consciousness that propelled. See, the spirit was never in an accident. The spirit's going, what are you doing laying there? What is this, man? We had a meeting with Michael Jackson. Get up! My body's going, ooh, ooh, ooh. But the spirit. I had some great teachers, I said. And see, once again, here's that word, art. Because of my training in dance, I was able to relate to parts of my body that were not happening. And I gave over my will to the invisible. And I trusted it. A friend of mine wrote a book, his name is John Rogers, called You Can't Afford the Luxury of a Negative Thought. And when you're in that position, you cannot afford the luxury of laying there feeling sorry for yourself. You're going to feel sorry for yourself, but you got to move on with it. You got to take those knocks. Because there are going to be times, you know, when there was one time when I actually, you know, I used to laugh about that lady who, you know, you see that T-shirt says, I've fallen and I can't get up, you know? I don't laugh about that no more. Because I fell a few times and I couldn't get up. I mean, I was laying there going, you know something, the body's a heavy thing. I mean, we go around hoo and ha and leaping through the air, and basketball players flying, and dancers going up and they're down and they're flying. This body's heavy. It's heavy. When you got to pull it back, it's a heavy thing. So really, it was a spirit, you know, a spirit and determination. Once I locked into that, then it became a determination, you know, and it was every day. Every day, and you got to look at it like this. When you're in an injury like I was, you're in the University of the Inchworm. No, I'm serious. Because if you're looking for, okay, today I'm going to walk. Ain't happening. Today I'm going to lift this arm. Okay. When you're in the University of the Inchworm, you realize, if you look at an inchworm, you notice an inchworm, you look at this big field, you say, look at the stage, he's never going to make it. And you turn around, you talk to somebody, and you turn back and look at the inchworm, he's across the floor. Because he goes inch by inch by inch. And what you learn is, okay, I'm going to move this arm today. You talk to your arm. You may not move today, but maybe that'll move. And that's a lot of movement for a day. And you learn to accept that and give thanks. That's very important. I give thanks. So those are the things that helped me through. I'm gonna write a book about it. You can read it, all about it. Me and Donald Byrd, Dennis Byrd.
I just want to say that in 1977, I saw Roots, and I was, say, 17 years old at the time, and it gave me a whole new perspective of history. Talking about the arts and education, that series helped me grow, and your character is one of those that I remember. Something else, sir, besides my comment I just made. You probably know of the National Theater Workshop of the Handicapped?
Yes.
What can be done to make sure that young people with disabilities who want to perform can, well, I don't know exactly how to express it, can be integrated into the entertainment industry, Broadway, and movies, to take their rightful place on the world stage, not standing in anybody else's way, but finding their own creativity? What can be done to help the National Theater for the Handicapped?
That's wonderful. I love that question. Chris Bird, you know, they call it, the society calls it Down syndrome, he calls it Up syndrome.
Oh, yes.
You know, I was in Washington with him, it was so beautiful. We were sitting before Congress, you know, and he was there for what they call society calls Down syndrome. And he said to the congressman, he says, no, it's Up syndrome. He says, we're on the up. It's for society to realize that we're all handicapped, that we all have disabilities, and that we must embrace it together. I don't know what society's going to do, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because I've been in that chair. You see, I didn't know if I would ever walk again. I didn't know if I'd ever dance again. You know, I mean, never mind dancing again, walk, get up. I used to do benefits and, you know, do telethons, and I'd always be glad to see my friends with disabilities and physically challenged. And, you know, do what I can and embrace them. But it's another thing when you live it, isn't it? It's another thing. It's like, okay, all right, Father, Mother God, is this it? Okay, what do you say? And how do you want me to say it? And suppose it comes out to you, I want it to be artful. And you say, well, where do I go? Where? Okay, there's a theater of the deaf, there's dancers on wheels, and they're all sort of like little pockets somewhere. And what I like to do, let me tell you what my vision is. What I like to do is build a school and theater where the physically challenged and the able-bodied work together, putting on productions that are done by the able-bodied, but are for the physically challenged as well. So that when the public comes out to view a play, they don't look at the physically challenged as much as they're enjoying the performance. They're getting a bonus by seeing my brothers and sisters who are physically challenged doing something they expect an able-bodied person to do. They get a bonus, you see? So it's about us really working together, because we have a tendency. I have a friend, her name is Mary Verdes Fletcher, and she's out of Columbus, Ohio. No, Cleveland. And, oh, you from Ohio? One person. Stick together. She was born with spinal bifida, restricted to a wheelchair for the rest of her life. But her heart, her spirit, says, I'm a dancer. So one day, you know, after studying computers and getting a great job, she decided she was going to dance. So she went to the Cleveland Ballet Company. She said, I want to dance. They said, yeah, it's going to be a little difficult in that chair. She said, but I'm going to dance. And they said, okay, well. So they picked her up and put her on the floor. She learned all the floor exercises. Now she has her own dance company out of Cleveland called Ballet on Wheels. And what's so beautiful about it is that able-bodied dancers go and dance with them on stage. They have some of the most moving pieces you'll ever see. And what I want to do is combine all of that energy under one roof and blow the top off America and the world and let them see what we're doing. Yes, sir.
How old were you when you realized that your dream had become a reality?
I'm still dreaming. I never want to realize it. I want to continue to dream. You see, when I stop dreaming, I'm ready to make my transition.
Like Michael Jordan?
Huh?
Like Michael Jordan?
Yeah, like Michael Jordan. He's a prime example. You know, he said, oh, he was a great basketball player. He said, yeah, I want to play baseball. You know? They go, oh, man, he never played baseball. He said, I don't care what you think. I don't care what the public says. He's never going to hear, he'll never be able to hear baseball. He won't be able to do all this negative press. I don't care. I'm going to play baseball. Check it out. Never stop dreaming. And never stop doing what you dream. And pursuing. And enjoying. No matter what people say. Because people, you know, there's a wonderful saying is that it says, put not your trust in man. Put your trust in higher things. Because man will let you down. Man will let you down. Because the doubt, this is human ways, but you know, your spirit knows. Live inside of it and go forward and dream. I'm still dreaming. I still lay down and go, oh man, when I own Paramount Studios. That's not saying I'll ever own Paramount Studios. But Sony wouldn't be bad. Yes.
My total favorite channel in the world is Pippin.
Oh, mine too. Thank you.
I've seen the movie about 100 times. The one
Yes.
that you can rent in video stores. And I really love that move at the end.
Oh, that's where residual checks come from. Thank you. There he is.
That one move at the end of Right Track.
Yes.
No,
I won't do it.
I wanted to ask if you could give us some kind of reminder, some kind of move from Pippin. That's it.
That number wasn't in the show. It's an interesting story about Pippin. When I read for Pippin, the first day I wept because there was no role, but Fosse's vision, see, and trusting that vision, we created that show, and that number came out of the vision. Yeah. Yeah, it was incredible. He was an incredible man. It was an incredible show. Yes.
My observation is when the inflation in the nation of the townships reduce the budgets of the schools, first thing the politicians think is to cut out art.
Yes.
Which is a sad story.
Yes.
How public or people like you can educate the politicians saying, if you want to cut something, cut other things, but don't cut art.
Well,
or cut nothing.
yeah. Well, we have a wonderful person as the head chair of the NEA, but it really isn't about the politicians. If you and I know that a program is being cut, now I understand something. You see, people, politicians work for us. I know that part of my check goes to paying their salary. Okay? So they're working for us. So why is it that we're listening to what they're telling us to do and we're not telling them what we want them to do? If we feel, because I can scream till I am a white man. It's strange, I'll be out of work, but you know, I can scream and yell and jump up and down, But unless the people, we the people, unite and do something about it and say, wait a minute, man, no, don't you see what's happening? Don't you see what we're fighting here in our communities? We're fighting. Look, you're not doing anything about the drug thing. You're not doing anything about, you're making education so expensive for our children. It's got to stop. And you can't cut art, because art, at least that gives them the fact of being able to know how to creatively move around the system and get that education that they need. So you got to stop. You got to stop. But it's going to take you and me. It's going to take us working collectively together. I mean, you understand, the politicians, I'm not knocking them. They're doing what they feel is right. I don't know. I'm not a politician, but I am a people. But I am a people. I feel the effects of what they're doing. So if they've got to do that, let's just say they've got to do that. So what do we do? We've got to pool together and support the school systems and make sure that an art program is instilled in the educational system as a people, as a community. Because why? Because it's helping you, and it's helping me, and it's God blessing them, the children. So we got to do that. That's what it comes down to. Yes?
I had a question about what could be done, in your opinion, to encourage young boys to enter arts where they're traditionally underrepresented, at least in the United States, to get young boys interested in things like ballet or poetry or the fine arts, or any of the dances or whatever. Are things being done? Or should they be done?
Well, it's gotten better. But I can remember when I was coming along, it wasn't fashionable. It really wasn't. No, I don't really know the answer to that, except that by bringing in people that are in the arts, males who are in the art, to encourage, to offer. Like my friend Wynton Marcellus, he goes out and he puts on programs in schools for young kids, young male boys who want to learn instruments, or maybe don't want to learn it, just to show them music appreciation. They may never become a Wynton Marcellus, but at least they'll appreciate music. Jacques D'Amboise goes around the schools and putting on dances and things for male and female, and he has a lot of females, but a lot of males are coming out. I think it's going to take people like myself who are in the arts going into schools and encouraging young people. You see, all we can do is be there. But then, the school system has got to provide a net to catch them when they say, I want to go. They catch it. Say, okay, we got a net here for you. And so I don't know if that's in place.
Well, I was just thinking that we have Take Our Daughters to Work Day, which has been working very well the last years, but it would be terrific if we had, show our sons a different career or something like that. Boys should learn about being nurses or being nursery school teachers or being ballet dancers.
Yeah, so they have the option, right? I mean, such a stigma has been put on, ballet dancers, people, most males cringe, to think of it, but look at Lynn Swan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Look at Lynn Swan, my God. When I was coming along, it was really difficult to say I was a dancer, in my neighborhood. I mean, I used to hide my ballet slippers, but now things have changed. I go back and they go, oh yeah, man, you got $1? See, but we got to show them, the inside track. We got to show them the human worth of the art, if that's what they want to do. It doesn't mean that you want to be a ballet dancer, but it means that you will have an appreciation for not only the dance, but other art forms as well. Options. Yes?
Do you think it's appropriate if schools, let's say at the high school level, begins to try to equate the arts with monetary value vis-a-vis sports, the way so many children are into basketball and things of that nature?
Yes, I think that's viable. Because when I watch football, I don't watch that much football. I admire the sport, but I'm not a great admirer. I mean, go to games. But when I watch it, through all the violence, I see the beauty of the movement. And if we can equate it that way, if we can show that crossover, it's like a friend of mine does these wonderful dances. Paul Sansato, he does these dances that are very much like football, and showing the movement, through a dance form, and that they can relate to it in that way. Whatever way we can get them to relate, I think that we have to say, look at this. You got to give them an option. Give them an option. Like you see little kids. I was in Boston, and one of the big problems up there was they had little 11-year-old kids, running across the street selling drugs. You got nothing else to do. Then we say to them, man, you got to go get a job at McDonald's. This kid looks like you're crazy. He's got to sit there and he's going, I'm sitting there telling him, you got to get a job at McDonald's. He's sitting there looking at me with $1,100 in his pocket. I said, yeah? Yeah? Because we can say, a wonderful thing about art also, it shows you the value of life and how beautiful life is. How beautiful life is. I think one of the dictionaries says that. It says the beauty of working. And when you realize how beautiful life is, you don't want to take a life. It's not that we've all become pacifists, but we appreciate it more. And so you're not apt to pick up an Uzi and go on a drive-by shooting. You'll think about that, because we'd have changed the thinking, the consciousness of that child. I know in my industry, we're strong for showing entertainment. That was funny. I was sitting down watching TV the other night. I rented this movie, and it was so violent. And I said, well, that's entertainment. And that's sad that that's entertainment. It's a form of, making money, I guess. But we haven't got enough shows that are about the other side of life that we can embrace. It's beautiful.
Have you ever heard of Alonzo Webster from Chicago?
Is he the gentleman who wrote Conspiracy?
No, he's a minister who took young boys and girls off the street and developed a acting kind of educational program to teach them that there was another side.
He's in Chicago?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'll be seeing him very soon. Yeah.
In urban ministry?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is great.
Because the reason I ask is because I like the concept that he has. If you don't give a child something to do, they will find something to do that's not necessarily what you want them to do. And he showed them that through acting and through learning how to work the lights and cameras or whatever, that he could show them the art of entertainment, plus give them a way to make money because they couldn't get jobs. Exactly. And then they were on the street causing more trouble. So I just wondered if you knew him.
No. I'd like his name though, because because I'm going to be in Chicago also.
He has several movies out for young people. One in particular is Go for Bad or Through the Cracks is another. And the acting is not the best acting, but the storyline is good. And I think what he's trying to do is give them an appetite for what they could do, even though they're premature. The message is good, and the work that he's doing with them is good because he's transforming lives. Mm-hmm. And I just wondered if any of the people that he had worked with and taken off the street had ever made it.
Not yet, but they will, because they got that option now. That's wonderful. Thank you for the information. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was just wondering about your acting career. Are you planning on acting in the future anymore?
Yes! God, yes. Monday night, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air,
You're going to be on?
Yeah, I play Will Smith's father. Yeah, Lou Smith.
What are you going to do with
No, I've never been on the show. So, I'm on the show. Yes, son. Yes.
Can you tell Will Smith I said hi?
Oh. All right. What's your name?
Whitcliffe.
What?
Whitcliffe.
Whitcliffe? Okay, Whitcliffe. I remember that. Any other questions? No? Yes.
There are a lot of us here that I know that are trying to make it and working hard. They have the desire to do what you're doing now, to be established.
Why?
To be established well enough to come back to a school like this and educate us on how we can further the, I guess, layman's education. The people that don't do music, don't dance. What would you say to someone who, if they were to come up to you, said, I want to be just like you. I want to make it like you did. What advice would you tell them? Pray.
She says pray. Well, first of all, I tell them that don't be like me. Be like yourself. Don't make it like me. Make it for yourself. You know, I went to Sammy Davis and I said the same thing. Sammy, I'll just follow you around. I'll do whatever you. I want to stand in the stage. I want to be like you. I want to do exactly like you did. I want to be every. And Sammy said, yeah. But he had a wonderful guy with him. It was his valet. His name was Murphy. And Murphy. Yeah, Murphy. And Murphy was great, because he had a belly like a Buddha. I used to rub his belly before a show. And Murphy said to me, "Why do you want to be like him? Be like yourself. That man's already lived his life. Live your life. The dreams that you're going to bring to the world, that man can't dream in his deepest dream. So go for your own dream. See, the way I did it was the way I had to do it, and the way I will do it. But what you have to bring, I'm going to admire, because it's new and it's fresh. The world needs new and fresh and changes all the time. So go for it, your own thing, your own identity. Okay? Yeah, that's what I tell them. Don't. Why? You're so. When I think about what is inside you, when I think about what's inside of all of us, ooh, I get so excited, especially when I see it blossom. It's like a writer once said, people are like stained glass windows. When the sun shines through them, oh my God, it's so beautiful. But you can really tell an artist when it's dark, because the light within will shine. Okay? I think I have to say goodnight. So,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
thank you.